I'm here to disrupt everything the diet and food industry has told you for years. What if you could stop obsessing over food and weight, understand exactly what your body really needs to thrive, all while learning how to feel empowered, confident, and in control? Hey there, I'm Carrie Lipoli, a certified nutritionist, award-winning educator, behavioral specialist, international speaker, and mom of two amazing college-age daughters. I'm here to help you disrupt everything the diet industry has told you about your health and your body. So here's the truth. Sure, what we put in our bodies matters, and it's more than just nutrition. As a nutritionist and a behavioral expert, I'm uniquely qualified to marry both the science of what our bodies need along with how to change your relationship with food, and all while realizing your value. I want to help teach you to reach your health, wellness, and yes, even weight loss goals with powerful conversations, science-backed strategies, and real talk. I'll teach you how to break free from the cycle of dieting, deprivation, and self-sabotage and start truly living. No more temporary fixes here, just sustainable wellness for you, your family, and your future that no one is talking about. You were not put on this earth to find the right diet, so it's time to stop living like you were. Join me each and every week as I share practical advice, a fresh perspective on the power of mindset, and tips that empower you to live your purpose, all while still enjoying the foods you love. And yeah, that even includes carbs. So if you want something different, you have to do something different. Consider me your something different. Welcome to the Diet Disruptors podcast. Well, hey there, Diet Disruptors. Carrie here. And as you can see, if you are watching this, now if you're listening along, you can't see this. So let me tell you what you're seeing. You are seeing two of my most favorite people in the world. And as we finish off our series on supplementation, that 6-spinning plate, I get to finish this off with my partners and co-creators of what I know is truly one of the best supplements you could ever get. And so today we are going to be talking all about healing your gut health with the Mark Macdonald, celebrity nutritionist, New York Times bestselling author, and my business partner, along with Dr. Anna Toker, who is literally a world-renowned colorectal surgeon. She knows everything about your poop, more than you could possibly imagine. She is not only a good friend, but also my business partner, all in Zive 7. And so I've been so excited about this episode since we decided to run this whole series. So Mark, let me start with you. Hello, my friend. And why are you so excited to talk about Zive 7 today?
Okay, I just honored to be on your podcast and thanks for the invite. You know, we've been waiting, nail biting. Will we make the cut? And we made it. We're besties here. So it's just awesome to be here with you. It's a great story about gut health. And I think everyone listening, you got to ask yourself, and Dr. Anna will talk about this, that all disease starts in your gut. And, my dad passed away, as Carrie and Dr. Anna know, passed away of digestive challenges. My wife, Abby, who's another one of our business partners, has had massive digestive challenges her whole life. And the whole goal with this has been a 20+ year journey on how we can create something that doesn't replace your food, but actually helps balance it and work on optimizing your digestion. And after 4 attempts around the world, together we created the most robust one in Zive 7.
Yeah, it's really incredible. There isn't it's just what we hear from people all the time is how powerful it is. And Mark, you and I co-created PFC3, the formula for food freedom. What we know is the approach for balancing your blood sugar with food, but we also knew it was almost like this synergistic need where we have to be able to figure out how we fuel our bodies correctly. But the piece around gut health was always this missing puzzle piece, not because we knew, because nutrition was a powerful piece of the equation, but because of our environment, because of the quality of food these days, because of so many factors with stress and blood sugar dysregulation in general. I mean, we needed to have something, and there was just literally nothing on the market at all that gave us what we knew we needed. And
Yeah.
so not only did we have this vision and that you've been working on this for decades, even longer than I have, but then we got to bring in Dr. Anna. And Dr. Anna, finding you to be a partner in this was so incredibly incredible because Mark has such an experience in product development, and he and I both, as nutritionists, knew that we had something here. But you just brought in a whole nother element of expertise and just precision. So, talk a little bit about gut, about kind of what you realized when you started working with us with Zive
Sure.
and how powerful it is.
Yeah, I've spent the entirety of my scientific career studying the microbiome, and then of course I'm a surgeon. I do gut surgery, in particular colon surgery. And one of the things that was always so frustrating to me, especially over time, you can watch people really have more and more and more gut complaints. And so the percentage of people that have a surgical problem is actually going down compared to the people who are complaining. Right. So they're all coming to my office. They're convinced something terribly is wrong. All these other doctors have said there's nothing wrong with them. Surely it's something they need surgery for. And then I'm like, no surgery. And the frustrating part of that is, I would put my patients on a regimen, but it was like 30 different, supplements and this, that, and the other thing. And
Yeah.
so the beauty when I met Mark before I met you, but when y'all started talking about this product actually has most of everything that I would have wanted in a product. So then y'all were very kind to humor me. I said, hey, could you put in such and such and such and such? And you did. And so now my patients are like, where the hell has this been for the last decade? Because at least it's one thing that they can take. They don't need the army of stuff. And for the price point, you can't beat it. And it like literally when it comes to IBS type symptoms, you're just not going to find something that by itself works this well. It's just not possible. There's no prescription that works this well. It has been rather remarkable, I have to admit.
I love it. So help us with the Dr. Anna explanation of why I always say if you're human and you poop, you need this.
Yes.
Why? Why is that true?
Well, it's a lot more complicated than food in, poop out. I mean, a lot of people kind of like it's a black hole, so to speak. A lot of people don't realize all the moving parts. But each part of your intestinal tract has its own specific function, yet it's a continuous tube. So if I just pulled it out and showed it to you, it's a tube. You wouldn't realize how specialized each little part is. And if one of these parts is not working properly, then the rest of it will not work properly. It's like an assembly line, and so if one part of the assembly line is like not working, the rest of the factory gets sort of screwed up. And so to offset or at least to coordinate all these different things in that product, you've got all natural substances, right? That will help coordinate the acid and the bile and the squeezing and the relaxing when it needs to relax and the water absorption and the mucus layer and then the probiotic, the prebiotic, the anti-inflammatories. And yes, all of that can go into one product because I know there's a lot of people who are naysayers. Like you can't put it all in the same thing. Yeah. Yes, you can, right? Whether I have them in two different pills and swallow them or they're all in the same pill.
Yeah.
Right. So it makes a lot of sense almost no matter what your complaint is, if it is non-surgical in nature. So I always tell people, look, make sure you've seen your doctor and confirm that there's nothing seriously wrong with you. But if they're like, we have no idea and it's just IBS, then it doesn't matter if it's IBS diarrhea, IBS constipation, IBS alternating bowel habits, just like gas bloat, reflux. It almost doesn't matter because all of those things are as a result of some part of that tube not coordinating with the other parts. And that just happens naturally because of age, because of toxins.
Yeah. And I have people that tell me like they don't have IBS, but they didn't realize how much better they feel once they get their gut figured out.
Yeah, I mean, because, there's been a number of studies and they all come out of the Celiac Foundation studies that pretty much show that intestinal inflammation is the step one to every disease that is chronic in its nature, and including many cancers.
Mhm.
So it starts with inflammation. Once the inflammation sets up in your GI tract, you kind of hosed, right? So the whole point of a clean diet, and this is why you're teaching PFC3, right? So you're talking clean food, small little meals multiple times per day. These are easier to digest, which is why it controls your blood sugar. And so all of that is designed to sort of improve your physiology, to minimize inflammation. And really, I think the struggle then comes down to even stuff you think is healthy for you, they find a way to sneak stuff in there. So education is a big part, and I've kind of enjoyed doing that. Mark and I do that on Mondays.
Mhm.
And that's been sort of fun, I think, for the crowd to learn something, because a lot of people, it's food in, poop out. Like people don't put a lot of emphasis in that, but
Yeah.
it's a complicated system, as you can imagine.
Yeah, and it's something that why we all need to be aware of how healthy it needs to be. Today's episode is brought to you by Zive 7. It is time to awaken your digestion because your gut health relies on you. Everything is attached to our gut. And if our gut ain't happy, ain't nothing in our body happy. And if you are a woman who is also going through menopause, your gut health is more important than ever before. Zive 7 is a finely tuned symphony of gut health for your daily ritual, blending nature's intelligence with scientific precision. And I have had the honor of being able to work on this product myself. So I know exactly where all the ingredients are sourced from and why the ingredients are that powerful. It is not only a digestive enzyme, but it also has protective probiotics, enzymes, prebiotics. It is your first step to improve your gut health, banish your bloating, smooth sailing every day with regularity, and stay consistent with your blood sugar levels. Go check out shopzive.com now. As you have developed, you've been working on a digestion product that could really help combat all of the issues that we know people have when it comes to their gut. But how is this product different than anything else that's out there? Because there's some proprietary stuff in here. It's like a big deal different.
Yeah, I think you go back to the history. I mean, I love that. I love the little like product shot there that you did, Carrie. It's so pretty.
I think I live with it. It's just always by me.
Yes,
Exactly.
By my side.
And I think there's always stories in the journey. And I think that's what whoever buys a product, you have to say, why was it created? What was the purpose for it? You know, this journey started 20 plus years ago. And the first digestive product we launched was a cleanse product. And we had to learn, because when you talk about digestion, Dr. Anna made a great point. A lot of times you think about prebiotic, probiotic, probiotic, your live bacteria, prebiotic feeds a probiotic, and people kind of piecemeal it. And then, you can't do it all at once, but then you need your enzymes, and then you need your liver cleansing. And I kind of bought into some of that, because remember, I started teaching nutrition in the 90s. I'm coaching people. We do some pro, we do some pre. We launched a cleanse first. We realized that was too aggressive. It had an ingredient called senna in it. We then moved to, as we took a product around the world, milk thistle, juniper berry, and dandelion root, liver and kidney support and debloating, because that's what we see. We bloat. So the first thing is, okay, we started winning with that product. But the fun part is 66 countries, 6 continents, we tested on millions. And then we launched a 5-ingredient product that kind of moved closer to the pieces of it. We added the prebiotic. We added better blood flow. We focused on some enzymes. And I thought at that time, and Carrie, you're part of that project, this is the deal. But then what we saw was, as we ended that partnership and we went back to the drawing board, we brought Dr. Anna in and we said, what can we do? And we brought in a formulator, Roger Rode, who had a product, something called Biotep 7. And together we created something in a spore formula, because the secret's in the spores. And Dr. Anna talked about how the digestive system has 7 steps and how your digestive system is a one-way highway. And I think we need to simplify for everybody. Your goal is this: you eat protein, fats, and carbs. That's your 3 nutrients that make energy. Your digestive system's purpose is to break them down in the simplest form. If you do that well, you're winning. If you don't do that well, you're losing. And most of society is struggling. Zive 7 helps each part of your digestive system break it down. It's not a new product in the sense of that it's 20 years in development, 4th iteration of it. and it's NSF certified sport, which means anything that's on that label is tested so you can trust the source. Because with supplementation, as we all know, your neighbor can make a supplement and sell it. This allows you to know what you're taking, why you're taking it, and how to fill the gaps, as Carrie talks about, as we talk about, to actually optimize your gut health.
Yeah, so that NSF certification, and for everybody that's taking any sort of supplements, when you see NSF on that label, that means it has gone through a whole set of rigorous testing, and it is way more expensive for a supplement company to go through that. And it means athletes, Olympians, like it's safe. And that's a really big deal. And I mean, as far as I know, Zive is one of the only ones that are out there like this. I mean, Zive is the only one that has everything that we really need in it. But the fact that it's NSF certified just gives that level of confidence of what you're putting in your body. And that it matters in every way.
That's what we wanted to do together. We all want, I mean, none of us on this call are product pushers. Like
No.
our focus is not to solve the world with products. Our focus is to empower people. Carrie, yours and mine, you as one of the greatest, you literally the best behavioral specialists in the space and nutritionist. Myself as someone who's just led with blood sugar my whole life with a twist of gut health, seeing it. But I didn't really understand gut health until I met Dr. Anna.
Mhm.
Because Dr. Anna, she is like an encyclopedia that blows
crazy.
your mind. Like stuff that Dr. Anna, so that's what it takes. And it takes a team to do it the right way, to deliver it the right way. And that's what Zive is. Zive 7 is really like in my lifetime, I'm never making a better product than this. Like, it's just not going to happen. So like, to me, this has been our pinnacle of product. And that's what's fun to do it together. And that's why we really want to empower people to awaken their digestion and live their best health.
Yeah. And I think, you know, Anna, you being on board here is just this third piece of this puzzle, because in all reality, like I say this all the time, and I'm not talking about you when I say this, but most doctors are taking the pharmaceutical approach. And I always thought it was really interesting that as a surgeon, you don't first go with surgery. You're always looking for these other alternatives. And that's why we always say no program you ever do should ever be based on a product. Right. Products, the right products, are going to fill the gaps, because there's no way we can get everything we need in our food unless you are literally growing all of your food in a biodynamic farm, and you are away from all the things in the plastic and the air and the toxins and all that stuff. There's no way you can do it all just within your diet. Would you agree with me, Anna, on that?
Oh my God, yeah. So, you know, it's interesting. Because I started medical school 32 years ago, and at the time there was still this concept that the last thing that you do is write a prescription or operate.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was like
how
that
times have changed.
Crazy, right? So, and like, to me, these younger doctors are aliens. I don't understand I know why it happened, but that is not how we were trained. Like, you were trained to start with, what is your socioeconomic situation? What are you eating? Are you smoking? Are you drinking? How can we change your environment? Like, that was always step one in every visit. Why? Because it doesn't cost any money. A lot of the reason they were doing that was to save money. If you can remember that push, like, we were trying to save money in the healthcare system to save it. And the answer was, a lot of these people, especially when they didn't have a lot of money, were eating highly processed foods, which are extraordinarily damaging to your body. Right? Now, all of us are eating, like, go into a grocery store. I know you coach this, but like, you go to the grocery store, 80 or 90% of what's in there is highly processed. Now, had they interviewed me 32 years ago, I would have told them, there's one association between, I never understood this growing up. Why is it that the poorest of the poor, and I grew up in Louisiana, the poorest of the poor were always unhealthy and heavy set? How? Why? Where they had money to go get food, why were they heavy set? You would think they'd be thin. They're poor. And the issue is, their money qualified for processed food.
Yep.
Like, that is the association. And now instead of taking that population and giving them real food, you've just taken the entire population and given them crap.
And made
So now
it more
all of us are
addictive.
heavy and sick. So
Exactly.
anyway, it's 32 years ago. That was the mantra in my general surgery training and my colorectal training in particular. Really, for litigation reasons, you want to make sure you've got the right patient at the right time for the right surgery for the right disease, and the right type of surgeon. And so that's every patient I talk to. Are you the right patient with the right time, with the right disease? Do you need a surgery? Am I the surgeon? Like, I ask that question on every patient. And it is frustrating when you go an entire day in clinic and not a single person needed to be cut on. It's cruel and unusual to the surgeon to come into my office and not need an operation.
Mhm.
I'll be honest. But having said that, it is easier on me to have a conversation when there's built-in education to something. When it is, look, you only need this one product. I'm not trying to talk someone into 18 different supplements and look at me like you're nuts, doc. I'm not going to do it. It feels a lot more like a modern doctor writing a prescription for something, except this is cheaper and it's not a prescription. It's all sort of herbal and natural and that sort of thing. And again, it is third party tested, kind of like a pharmaceutical would be, right? So that's as close as a supplement's going to get to a prescription. So if there's any doctors out there watching this, I would tell them, look, that between the educational program and the fact that it is just the one thing for almost any IBS sort of situation, it does take less time. And this is why doctors reach for the prescription. They don't have the time to have the conversation.
Yep. That's
That's
totally
why you
true.
let Mark have the conversation. What the hell? I mean, he likes to talk. So you let Mark have the conversation on a Monday night, and then you just go to this website and get your Zive 7.
Let's talk about that, because Mark, this is where I think this is such a different type of approach to supplementation. Now we know that your foundation is food, and that's why the PFC3 approach is so important, which is what I teach and what you teach, and Dr. Anna, what you teach with your clients. But this, having Zive 7 as part of the protocol, if you will, right? Like as part of the options, you're all about education, Mark, and you're not offering just like go click and buy. Like, tell us about the education behind Zive 7 and why you're so committed to, not just why, but also how you're so committed to educating people on their gut health and then obviously their overall health, because that's what makes this product very different too.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge difference maker for us. And Dr. Anna said every Monday night we're live, but it's beyond that, Carrie. Like, as we've laid this out and we focused side by side on how to do this, it started with me seeing my dad, who had pylori bacteria B, and his ulcers shut off his stomach. So like you have your esophagus connecting your stomach, and so much scar tissue from his ulcers shut that off. And I remember when I was 15 years old and my dad and I would go to pizza after a soccer game, and he's vomiting all night because he was blocked up. And then he was a lean man, but he had a gastric bypass to clear that out. And then that caused him to be addicted to pain medication. It put him on TPN. He couldn't absorb anything. My dad lived on Wonder Bread, bologna, and Mountain Dew. Like, that was his nutrition. Wow. And to see that, part of it was him, but part of it was he just didn't know what to do. Like, there was no answers for him. So when I came back to him, we talked about this, is education first. Yeah. So not only do we show up every Monday night and teach on a different topic, acid reflux, IBS, sugar sweeteners, like with the bombs, like the information we drop that Dr. Anna drops is unbelievable. Simple stuff like high fructose corn syrup has 5 carbons, and where regular sugar has 6 carbons. So your body makes high fructose corn syrup, but turns it into fat. So this is why people are getting less and less healthy. We educate people on this. But it goes beyond that, Carrie. We know every Tuesday we drop a newsletter on a new topic that we're focusing on. That we have a Facebook community to answer questions. We're always educating, inspiring. We have a Zive 7 protocol. So our goal is a full 360-degree support system. So wherever you start your gut health journey, you're supported every way. And Zive 7's by PFC3. So as you start with Zive 7, maybe that's where you start. You're saying, I just want to start there. Well, we want to lead you down the breadcrumb path of better education, because if you can improve 1% at a time, our goal is very simple. With great gut health, you will truly achieve the goals that you want. You will live your highest quality life. We can't guarantee how long we're going to live, but we can feel great every day. And if you can do that, everything works. And the last thing we talk about so much, and Dr. Anna talks about this, is people are suffering, 85% of the population, from leaky gut syndrome. Like, you have a leaky gut, and that's actually...
Is that high? That's
yes,
crazy.
85% minimum.
Easy.
And Dr. Anna, say what leaky gut is, because it's really your toxins are leaking into your bloodstream.
Yeah, so the lining of the GI tract is this one cell layer little lining. You can see through it, paper thin. And it's supposed to be waterproof because these cells are connected to each other with little waterproof glue between them, so to speak, kind of like grout on tiles. And we've talked about that in the past. Now, those little connections can open and close like little sliding glass doors if they need to, because cells are constantly dying and then new ones are popping in. So there's got to be a way for cells to disconnect, cell dies, new one pops up in there, and it's constantly repairing itself, constantly. When you are exposed to certain types of environmental toxins, whether it's gluten is the most notorious, but it can be any kind of artificial sweetener or glyphosates. It can be viral illnesses, but any inflammatory process will tell your body, and we don't know why, but will tell your body to create a protein. That protein's called zonulin, and zonulin melts or tells all of those little junctions to open all at the same time. Mm-hmm. And so they all open at the same time. And then, 30 minutes or 40 minutes later, they all close. If you are 24/7 exposing yourself to toxic things, because you don't drink water, you drink a Diet Coke, because you're eating wheat with every single meal. Now these little junctions are forever open, which means that the acid from your stomach, the digestive enzymes from your body, all the toxins from bacteria themselves are slipping in between these cells and getting underneath that paper thin lining. Now your body has to send the immune system to the rescue. And now the blood vessels that are supposed to be absorbing only what the cells sort of presented are now absorbing all that stuff, and it's going straight to your liver.
Yeah.
So you've got this twofold problem: toxins to the liver, toxins underneath the lining of the intestinal tract, and your body uses fat building mechanisms to protect you from inflammation. So mesenteric belly fat in your liver, this is an inflammatory response to protect you. It's like a little cushion, and it protects you. And if you've ever been one of these people who've tried to lose weight and you've lost it everywhere except your belly, that's because of inflammation.
Yeah. Now,
right?
so how is Zive helping with leaky gut, for example?
Yeah, there's a couple different ways. The first is in regards to digestive enzymes. So a digestive enzyme will actually break down that zonulin so that it's not around quite as long. It kind of helps those cells seal together. Some of the herbal supplements will improve gastric acid and bile. And while those things sound damaging, they actually protect you, because not only are they breaking down food, but they're chasing away bad bacteria. So you need those two things. One of the herbals encourages a mucus layer to form. The digestive enzymes will also strip away like old bacterial layers that are just kind of like chronically there, what we call biofilms. So that, and then you add in some cysteine, which your body will naturally turn into glutathione, which is the most powerful antioxidant kind of known to man. So you combine all those things together, and now all of a sudden you have a defense mechanism, which by itself may not be enough, but when you combine it with someone who understands where the inflammatory toxins are, so now they know, okay, I'm going to be gluten-free, even though I know I'm not a celiac person.
Right.
So if you want to lose weight, if you want to get rid of the arthritis, you got to be gluten-free. like for at least 6 months to get that inflammation out of your body. That fat response inflammation is going to take at least 6 months to go away, and some people a couple of years. So it just takes a while. And that supplement and a good education all of a sudden is what 90% of people are like, holy cow. It's like no medicine ever helped me. I can't believe.
And everything is better.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so excited about this episode. That's why I was so excited about this being the last in our series, because truly this is a totally different type of quote unquote supplementation, where there's a supplement, but it's connected with education and really truly part of an entire picture that we need. We talk about the 6 spinning plates, right? Nutrition, movement, hydration, sleep, managing our stress, and supplementation. And just today's episode really shows us how all of these things are interconnected and how you really need all of them to be able to truly be living your best health. And this Zive was a missing piece of the puzzle for us, especially Mark and I as nutritionists, to be able to really give people that last piece of the puzzle. So, I mean, I just think this is an exciting time for people to be able to have something like this, such an important solution, and be educated, because there's so much confusion out there. And so when you go to shopzive.com, you can check it out. And as soon as you are a part of that family, you can be part of the community, and we have health pros that are in there. And it's just a really powerful tool. Like Mark said, constant education, because that's what matters so much. I love it.
And that's what this is about, living. Like, I'm outdoors, if you're listening to audio, I'm outdoors. I got the sun coming in. It's like I'm illuminating a little bit.
You are shining right now.
And this is like the real background. So like, you can know it's a real background because of the light. My whole point is, every day you should feel great. If you're not feeling great, I will tell you, most likely it's your gut health and your blood sugar.
Yep.
If you can get those two things handled and you can reduce your inflammation, life will start to be better. Yep. You'll have the energy you want. You'll slowly chip away. And that's where you always want to look at, where can I begin? How can I start living my best life so that every day I feel amazing? And that should be our goal. We all want to wake up happy. We all want to wake up joyous. We all want to wake up feeling like we're champions. And if we can do that, then the world is ours.
Yeah. Without a doubt. And I love that. So we'll make sure that we have all of our Instagram handles here in the show notes. But I mean, Dr. Anna Toker, like, she's got such an Instagram following and such an Instagram presence. It's just so fun to watch her. She's the best sense of humor ever. Mark, so Dr. Anna Toker is your Instagram handle. Mark Macdonald PFC3 is your handle. And Mark is literally all energy. It is like all energy all day long. And so make sure you follow the two of them, and you can check out Zive on shopzive.com and become part of the community so you're truly educated. Mark and Anna, thank you, my friends.
We love you, Carrie. Love you, Anna. Let's go.
Let's go, you guys. All right. We'll see you on the other side on the education of Zive. Let's go.
Let's go.
Bye.